What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is another throwback of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 3, episode. I think we're on episode 13 or 14. We're almost at the end of the season, you guys. And listen, I may have a surprise for you guys at the end of the season. We're going to do a live roundup of the season, and I'm going to have a special guest who knows all things Real Housewives of New Jersey. So stay tuned. But let's get into the things of the things. So we pick up this episode where we left off with Ashley and Jacqueline and Chris and her biological dad and his wife at the restaurant. Listen, at the end of the day, I still don't get it. Again, I'm trying to give grace because I know I am watching this 10 years after the fact. So I'm definitely giving grace. I definitely understand that she ain't there no more. I know I say that every episode, but I feel like I have to, because then I just got to talk about what I saw. And honestly, girl, I don't get it. She does seem to have a hatred for her mom. Now, I know that teenagers go through this, especially teenage girls seem to go through this with their moms. I know I went through it with my mom. I never hated my mom. I was never and I definitely wasn't disrespectful, because I'm with Carolyn. My teeth would have been on the floor. I definitely wasn't disrespectful to my mother. However, there was a time period where, girl, I spoke to my mama only when I had to. I interacted with my mom, and yeah, we had some good times. Like, it wasn't like that. I mean, there were times when we laughed and we joked and we had great times, but overall, yeah, we just didn't click, right? So I think that part is normal. But this whole anger that she seems to have at her mom, even when they were talking about, well, you don't understand the sacrifices your mother made, like, her attitude is, but I ain't asked to be here. Like, y'all keep wanting me to appreciate a sacrifice, and I ain't asked for that sacrifice. And it's like, do you understand that if the sacrifice wasn't made, do you really, like, giving your mom, and when they say appreciate the sacrifices, they just mean be respectful to your mother. They're not asking you to kiss her ass. They're not asking you to bend over backwards. They're asking you to respect what your mom has done. And I think that because your mom, I don't want to say got lucky, I'm going to say was blessed to fall in love with a man who had means. I think you feel like, well, she didn't really do anything for me. She didn't really sacrifice anything for me. I mean, look at how we living. Like, she don't do anything. She sits in the house all day. She's not working hard. But you didn't see what was going on before that. Like, she literally was a teenage mom working and, minimum wage jobs. And she was blessed to fall in love with a man who had money and who could provide this lifestyle for you, which you don't appreciate either. Her father tried to make her apologize. And let me tell you something. That is a pet peeve of mine. Do not drag nobody to me to apologize. As a teacher, they used to do that all the time with kids. Especially when I worked at the middle school. They don't do it so much now with high school kids. But with the middle school kids, they would make them come and apologize. Listen, I don't want an apology you had to tell me to give. And I know it's a child, and I know we're teaching the kids a lesson on what they should and should not do. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want it. If you didn't say, I owe her an apology and I understand now that I was wrong, I don't want it. And Ashley did not want to give an apology. So when she showed up, when they basically made her go to where her mama was to apologize, she was rude and still disrespectful. And I was with Jacqueline. I don't want it. Like, I don't want an apology that you are making her give me. Because one, she doesn't think she's wrong, which means that she's not giving me a genuine apology. She's only doing it because y'all are making her do it. Number one. Number two, I don't want an apology that comes with more disrespect. Like, I don't want it. I don't want it. So clearly that didn't go well. And Chris finally told Ashley, listen, there are going to be some rules going forward. And if you can't follow the rules of my house, I'm just going to put you out. And I feel like Chris really means it this time. Like, I feel like I feel like Chris has meant it before. I feel like Jacqueline has been the saving grace of keeping her daughter in the house. Which she don't appreciate that either. Jacqueline said something, and Chris felt like that was the magic answer. She was like, I just don't want her to get to the point where she gets it, like she goes to live with her father and she figures it all out and she's living this great life and I don't get the credit for all the things that I did. And Chris was like, oh, so that's what it is. You don't want her to not acknowledge that you helped get her there. I don't really feel like that's what Jacqueline was saying. You know how you so upset for so long? I mean, Jacqueline was doing that real cry, the hiccup cry. You ever cried so hard you got yourself the hiccups? She was doing that cry. Like, that's the real cry. It wasn't no fake to it. It wasn't no pontificating for the cameras. Like, that was that real. Now, Ashley, on the other hand, I think can turn on the tears. I feel like Ashley turns on the tears. So let me fast forward a little bit. So anyway, that's how that conversation ended. Her father was like, I don't understand her disrespect. And he told her, and the stepmama even said, now, Ashley, when you were living with us, me and you didn't get along, and we didn't get along because you treated me the same way I see you treating your mom right now. So this ain't about your mom. This is a you issue. This ain't this is who you are. Because you did me the same way you did your mother. That you're doing your mother. Now, let me fast forward a little bit. The VIP of this episode for me was Miss Lauren. Because Lauren is still trying to get Ashley to do these damn t-shirts, right? Ashley shows up over to the house. Lauren's event is in 2 weeks. Ashley still ain't sent her a sketch. Ashley gonna say, well, I feel like I can do this. Let me go home and I will send you some pictures. And Lauren was like, girl, this is what we're supposed to do. This is what you were supposed to do today. That's what this meeting was for. This meeting was for you to send me some sketches. Was for you to show me the sketches. She said at this point, she said, have you even ordered the t-shirts yet? She was like, well, no, because I don't know how much that stuff is and I don't know what I have to do. And Lauren was like, girl, like, I really believe in you and I'm really trying to work with you, but I still have to stay professional and I still have to stay on top. She said, let me be clear with you. If you were not my cousin, I wouldn't even be speaking to you right now. Like, I would have already fired you. I would have already told you how I feel about your work ethic and your professionalism, and I'll be on to the next. And I really, really, really want to try to make this work with you, but I also have to keep in mind that my event is in 2 weeks, and girl, you ain't even gave me a sketch that I can use. You telling me you haven't even ordered those t-shirts. You haven't done anything. I don't know what to do. So Ashley starts, here come the waterworks, right? She starts crying. Baby Lauren was like, listen, here we go. You about to play victim now, and I'm not buying into that. You are not a victim. You are not a victim, okay? I've given you opportunity. I've given you time. I've told you what I wanted, and you have put other things ahead of a job that I was paying you to do. You are partying. You're out. You find time to do everything else you want to do, but you didn't find time to do this. So no, you're playing victim here, and I'm not entertaining it. I said, yes, Lauren. Yes, you better channel your inner Caroline. Because she said, I'm not here for this. This that you doing right here, I'm not here for this. No, ma'am. So, Teresa and Joe are at their lawyer's office. Joe has pled guilty to the forgery charges. Come to find out, his ex-business partner was accusing him of signing documents, authorizing certain things that he's saying he didn't give him permission to do. Joe is saying that it was a verbal agreement, that verbally, because they were business partners and they would have these conversations, but he wasn't able to produce the evidence to show that he had permission to do these things. And so basically Joe pled guilty. You know how this goes, for a lesser charge, because his lawyer was like, listen, I hear what you're telling me, but you couldn't produce the receipts to show that these things were true. Now, they did have a small little victory in court because they're going to keep Teresa's money separate from Joe. So they're not going to make Teresa raid her closet. However, they do still have to sell some of their items at a private auction rather than, a huge spectacle of an auction. Girl, Teresa felt like that was a win. Later on, when they're at the situation over to Kathy's house, Teresa was like, yeah, well, we really won. Girl, he pled guilty. How do you get a win out of it? He pled guilty. I don't know how that translates on any level as a win for you. So confused. So Kathy has decided that she's having a party at the house. So first of all, she invites over the spiritualist lady that we saw with Dina the first season, and she invites her over to sage her house, right? So she's gonna sage the house. I guess before she decides to invite Teresa over, she got to sage the house. Listen, it's not a bad idea. I think, I have a friend that sages her house every spring. She said over the winter, the windows were closed. The spirits couldn't get out. Okay, so I'm opening up the windows. I'm doing my spring cleaning, and we're going to sage everything. I think that's a good idea to sage it. So that's what she's doing. She's saging the house, honey. We see Jacqueline and Carolyn talking, and they're talking about what happened with Teresa. And you can start to tell, because Carolyn's reading the paper. Again, a girl after my own heart. Like, she was like, I read the paper every day, cover to cover. I used to read the paper every day, cover to cover. I used to read the USA Today every day, cover to cover for years and years and years. Let me tell you something. Oh, because I used to get it for free at my job. So that's why I don't read it. It's free at my job. But let me tell you something. You can start to see the cracks in the foundation of Teresa's relationship with the Manzos. I think Carolyn is getting irritated with Teresa. She said, well, you can't really talk to her about anything because she's always going to put on that smile and go, oh, it's okay. Oh, it's nothing wrong. It's nothing to see here. Everything's great. Everything's good. We see Melissa and Kathy having the same conversation. And Kathy, once again, Melissa and Kathy are still being very positive, saying, listen, I don't wish anything bad. If there's anything I can do to help, she knows, I hope she knows that she can reach out to me. I take no solace in any of this happening to them. And whatever we can do as a family to help, that's what I'm here for. Again, I don't know what Melissa was doing behind closed doors, but publicly, at least in this season, I don't know what happened y'all know I don't know what happened down the road, but in this season, she said, in my opinion, she's saying all the right things, and of how they're going to support Teresa. Again, same thing with the Manzos and Jackie. I don't feel like they're gossiping. I feel like they're really trying to figure out what we can do to help a friend. Caroline is not stupid. Caroline is like, listen, none of this is good, and I think that she was intelligent enough or inquisitive enough, because I'm not going to say these other women weren't intelligent. Inquisitive enough to go past the headline and understand what the long-term ramifications could be. And I think she understood that this wasn't over. I think she understood that this was sort of a tip of the iceberg for Teresa. And she really wanted to try to be there for Teresa, but Teresa wouldn't let anybody be there. And I understand part of that is you are embarrassed. I mean, let's just call a thing. You're embarrassed, right? But you got to save face. You got to keep making your money. So you have to put yourself out in the public, which opens you up to public scrutiny and all of those things. So I do, to a certain extent, I do understand where Teresa's coming from. But the flip side, these were people that were trying to be friends to you. And girl. So Kathy is having a goddess party. So she invites all the ladies over, and everybody actually shows up. Jacqueline, Carolyn brings her daughter Lauren, Teresa shows up, Melissa, they all show up, and it's a goddess party. Now, Teresa doesn't like the way Melissa dresses. Melissa dresses very, sexy. Okay, she's got this cute shirt with the back out, and and listen, Melissa is young. Melissa's got a beautiful body. She done popped 3 babies out, and that body is still banging. I'm just gonna call a thing a thing. The body is still banging, okay? Melissa's talking to Kathy. She gets there early before the ladies show up. Kathy's cooking for the ladies. She's doing Mediterranean dishes, which I love Mediterranean food. Carolyn loves Mediterranean food as well. She said, listen, I have traveled the world, okay? I have gone beyond the walls of Jersey, okay? Yes, I am cultured, okay? We see Kathy's husband making jokes about throwing holy water because Teresa's coming. Again, something that I'm sure doesn't play back well when it's time for the reunion. But in the moment, it was a joke. It was what it was. We know Teresa can't take a damn joke unless it's her or talking about somebody else. She certainly can't handle people talking about her. We already know. I ain't going down that road. We know, child. We know. So we see Kathy's daughter, who is a great kid. She wants to speak to all the people before she goes to do her homework. Now, mind you, this is a Friday night, and Melissa is like, Jacqueline is like, oh my goodness, really? Like, girl, you gonna do homework on a Friday night? Like, she said, I wish these were the problems I had. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I had these problems. So while they're gossiping, Melissa tells Kathy that Teresa made comments about Rich wanting her, Rich liking her, Rich being attracted to her. Baby, the look on Kathy's face. See, this is what I can appreciate when somebody knows that something is so ridiculous and so absurd, their only reaction is, like, Kathy ain't even get excited. Kathy was like, well, that's just ridiculous. And she went on about her business, because I know that she knows that there's no universe where her husband wants Teresa. Now, I ain't saying that there's no universe where her husband may not want other people, but there is no universe that where she thinks that her husband wants Teresa. Okay, so she didn't even get excited, start yelling, screaming, cussing. She ain't do none of that. She was just like, well, that's ridiculous. And went on about her business, child. Just crazy. Now, all the ladies show up and they're, eating the food, and they're all kind of enjoying the food. Of course, Teresa's making smart ass comments about the food, and she's not finding it, to her liking, and she's talking about the party is boring, and, she said, if I was going to do the party, I would have done this, and I would have done that. I mean, if I was going to do the party, girl, you can't do the party, because you know why? You ain't got no money right now. Because you got paid the other people. You got paid them people. So you're not doing no party. But I do have to sort of agree with Teresa. The party didn't look that exciting. I'm not going to lie. It did not look that exciting. Kathy gave all of the ladies bracelets. I guess they were like spiritual beads or something, and that was real cute. That was real cute. And then, they had to find a way to create the drama, because the party was a little. So Kathy is going around the room saying all the things that she likes about everybody, finding something positive to say. And she says to Melissa, you're such a great mom. And here goes Teresa. We're all great mothers. We're all. And she didn't do that when Kathy said something nice about Carolyn, when Kathy said something nice about Jacqueline. She didn't say nothing. But when it got to Melissa, all of a sudden, well, we're all great mothers. Girl, them compliments could have applied to everybody at the room. But you waited until it got to Melissa for it to be an issue. So then Teresa starts talking to Melissa about Kim G. Why are you hanging with Kim G? Why would you hang around somebody that's trying to destroy me? Why would you want to be around somebody that's trying to come for my family? And Melissa was like, well, first of all, I didn't know that. First of all, I'm not hanging with her. Okay, we saw her at the fashion show. We weren't hanging with her. And yes, I invited her to the children's hospital party, but child, it was a party. I invited every damn body. Okay. Number 2, I ain't know that y'all had an issue. Number 3, me and you weren't even speaking like that at the time, so why would I know? Like, we weren't in. So here go Teresa. And Teresa finds a way to take the one little thing and make an issue out of it. I understood exactly what Melissa meant when she said it. What she was saying was, listen, me and you were not in that space. We weren't in a good space. When she said she wasn't talking to you, she didn't mean that y'all never, ever, ever had a conversation. What she meant was, we weren't hanging out. We weren't friends. We weren't talking. I didn't know who you liked and who you didn't like. I didn't know who you were hanging around and who you weren't hanging around. Girl, I don't know these things. Here go Teresa. Did you not come to Adriana's birthday party? So what do you mean we weren't speaking? What are you talking about? Melissa was like, girl, I mean, we weren't talking on the phone a lot. We weren't regularly speaking. Well, so what do you mean? Like, you're saying that that's Melissa, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you say we weren't talking? Why would you say we weren't talking? Teresa knows how to play. It's that she tries to do that whole gaslight thing, and she still does it. And that's why I don't nobody be paying her ass no attention now. So anyway, they got to arguing. Next thing you know, Carolyn was trying to tell Kathy, listen, do something in this shit. Do something. So she actually had some belly dancers there. So the belly dancers came out. Jacqueline, Melissa, and Kathy danced. Nobody else got up and danced, but it broke the tension and it stopped the argument, child. So next thing you know, we back over at Jacqueline's house, right? We were Jacqueline and Chris. And Jacqueline is still upset at Ashley. Like, they're not speaking to each other. And Jacqueline is still upset. Now, Ashley is at the table on her damn phone, ignoring her. And, I'm sorry. And she's trying to talk to Ashley. And again, Ashley's ignoring her. Ashley won't talk to her. And Ashley's going to say, you're such a bitch. See, that's when I would have left my house in handcuffs. Because Ashley's over 21, so I'd have knocked the shit out of her. I ain't even gonna tell y'all no lies. Because that's not the first time she called her mother a bitch. And that's the second time on camera. So I can only imagine how many times off camera that has happened. You ain't got but one time to call me out my name in the house that I'm paying for. I promise you that. I don't care who you are. I don't care. Let me say it one more time. I don't care who you are. You ain't got but one time to call me out my house. Call me out my name in the house that I pay for. Have you lost your ever mind? So Chris was like, let me handle it, Jackie. So Jackie walks off. Now this is where I will disagree with Jackie. Jackie is in the other room mumbling under her breath. So Chris is trying to talk to Ashley. Ashley hears Jacqueline mumbling. So now Ashley is responding to what Jackie is doing. So now her and Jackie get to arguing back and forth. But Jackie's not really talking to Ashley. She's talking to Chris. So it turns into a whole shit show, right? It really turns into a whole shit show. So Jackie tells her, she said, listen, you said that you moving out in 2 months. She said, I tell you what, I'm going to do you one better. You can leave now. If you can afford to move out in 2 months, girl, you can afford to move out now. 2 months ain't going to make no difference, especially since you ain't got no real job, okay? So if you can afford to move out in 2 months, baby, you can go. So Ashley runs off into her room. She calls her dad, and she's fussing at her dad. I can't do this. She's just this, she's just that. See, this is Ashley playing victim. She's calling her dad because she wants her dad to come and let her move there, or wants her dad to take care of her or whatever. And so Chris goes to talk to Jackie, and Jackie is like, I don't want her here. Like, I'm done. I am done. And I feel like Chris has been waiting. Chris been waiting. Chris has been waiting for Jackie to get to that point. Chris was like, enough said. Baby, Chris take his ass in that room. Ashley gonna have the nerve to tell him, get out, I don't want to talk to you, or no, I don't want to talk to you. She didn't tell him to get out, but she was like, I don't want to talk to you right now. He said, oh, no. You gonna talk to me. He said, you need to call one of your friends to come and get you, because you gotta get out of my house tonight. You got to go. Now. Tonight. Call one of your friends that you hang out with. It's so important to you. And now, what I hope is that they stick with it. Because, they like to play, come back. Go and come back. Go and come back. Go and come back. We're not playing that go and come back game. Okay? Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. I'll let you guys know what's going on. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.